Good morning, students. Today we have to study about the breakdown or the breakup of the caliphates, caliphates dominance and the authority, and then after we shall see that how a new power elements, a new power emerged within within the Muslim world, a new power, a new elements, the new people who emerged as the dominant and the strongest elements, and those later on played a very important role in the rise of Islam or in the expansion of the Islam. And now these elements were these elements, the new element, or these people now form as sultanates. They were the Turks. Understand, these people were called as the Turks, and form they form their power or established and took the responsibility of expansion of the Islam in the different direction. Understand, after the fall of caliphates, Abbasid fall. Understand, Abbasid were the last caliphates who fallen down, and then after these caliphates now shrunk only around the Iraq or the certain part of the Persia, Iran, and the central part of the Iraq. Only there their power centered, and then after the caliphs remain as a symbolic power, as a natural power, as a ceremonial heads he remained in the Muslim empire, or only he was deemed to be by the different Islamic state, or as a legitimate, as a as as a as a source of acquiring, as a source of acquiring the legitimacy. Understand, so now for the legitimacy for these dotted and spotted and broken Islamic states. There's many Islamic states after that emerged, and after the breakdown of the central authority of the Baghdad, understand, then after many of the small Islamic states formed, many clans, they had they stake they stake their own claims to form their own Islamic state. Understand, on the different grounds, and ultimately power expansion of the caliphates and Abbasid shrank. Understand. So now under this condition, okay, that those Turks who had now came from the Transoxiana, understand, upper part of the Khurasan and the Transoxiana, understand, and these people were the having the certain qualities they have they were the imbibed with the certain qualities. What the certain qualities of they were the very hardworking, brave, excellent archer, or excellent, and I used to drive the weapons very well, or for the, and moreover they were the very excellent horse rider. Understand, so they were these Turks now after coming, or after the downfall or the breakdown of the Abbasid Khalifa influenced, now the Turks played a very dominant role in the sustaining these Muslims empire, or this Muslims world. Understand? So now we shall see that here. First of all, let's now focus on the certain points which were the very vital points, which points were and which factors were the responsible for the breakdown and the downfall of the Abbasid Empire. Now here we know that Abbaside became, their powers became weaker by the 9th century, and this was the reason because Baghdad's control over the distant provinces declined. Now we know that very well that this caliphate's empire was the so vast, understand, so vast or extensive that they were not able to the central authority. Baghdad was not in position to control the states and the provinces which were situated the far from the Baghdad. It was very difficult for them to control this. So as a result, their grip now loosened. They lost their grip. Gradually, they began to lose their grips, and the regional or the local power began to the emerged. And these local powers who were? These were the Turks. Turks now started capturing the power. Understand? And the Turks now they entered into the service of these caliphates as slaves, as an army, or in the army as well as on the basis of their excellence and the work and skill. Now they held the high positions in the caliphates. So those who held the high position in caliphates, now they started the forming their own local states. Understand? And own local state. This was the reason. Second thing was because of the conflict between the pro-Arab, other factors which now weakened the Abbaside were the pro-Arab and the pro-Iranian faction in the army. Now in the army, in the Abbaside army, now the pro-Iranian and the pro-Arabs, Hijaz, Makkah and Medina and Hijaz, those areas, the Arabs and the Iranians, two kind of elements were in the army. So now these they had the very diverse ambitions. Understand? So that's why these two army now naturally got into the conflicts. They were belonging to the different culture. The Iranian had the different culture. The Arabs had the different culture. They had the different ambitions, and they have the superiority complex. Understand? On the Islam, because they were the founder of the Islam. So that's why two power blocks within the army now got into the conflict. So this bickering condition and this rift between the Iranians or between the Arabs now, no doubt, made the weak to the Abbasid Empire. Now, second factors. What factors you can make here? In the 1810, a civil war broke out between the supporters of Amin and the Mamun. Mamun and now Amin. Harun al-Rashid, the son of the Harun al-Rashid, the two sons he had, the Amin or Mamun. These two sons now got into the conflict for the ascending, for the getting the power after the demise of the Harun al-Rashid, now which depended the factionalism and created a new power block of the Turkish state. Now this faction became the very deep. Understand? These factors became very grave or the very deep and the grave. So as a result, the taking the opportunity of this grave and dependent grave faction, now the Turkish the new power block emerged because the two powers, the Khalifa power was divided into two blocks. Understand? Two blocks, two brothers divided power. The third block now prepared and got the success to raising into the power. The slaves, Turkish officers were called the Mamluk. Mamluk slaves are called as the Mamluk. Mamluk means the slave. Understand? The Mamluk, Shia once again competed with the Sunni Orthodox for the power. Here, the Shia and Sunni again emerged the two blocks. Two blocks emerged. Two blocks again rose to the conflict. Shia and Sunni feelings were the very. So under these were the very circumstances which were making no doubt creating the faction amongst these groups, and as well as a number of minor dynasty rule And moreover, I have already now told you that the number of dynasties now rose in the different provinces, because this Caliphate's empire was the vast empire. So in the different regions, different area of his empire, different provinces of his empire, now different dynasty began to restore their power, begin to organize their power, to to declare themselves at the autonomous and at the independent from the central authority of the Baghdad. Understand? So under these circumstances, we can see that now here a number of minor dynasty arose, such as the Tahirids and Samanids. Tahirid and Samanid dynasty emerged, new dynasty emerged in the Khurasan or Transoxiana, Turan or lands of beyond the Oxus, Transoxiana and the Khurasan. The new dynasty, Tahrid dynasty or the Sasanian dynasty emerged, and these or they emerged into the power, and the Tulunids in the Egypt and the Syria. In the Egypt and Syria had been also the part of the the power center. It's a capital at the Damascus. Understand? So now where Umayyads were, now we know already. Umayyad had made their seat of administration to Damascus. They were ruling them. So in the Syria, and as well as you know very well in the Egypt. Understand? In the Syria and Egypt, other clans were emerging. Tulunids clans were dominating or emerging in the Syria, Damascus, or in the Egypt. You must keep your eyes on the map, boys. Students, I am advising you all. Understand? You must have any place. There is a map. Your eyes must be on the map to locate the areas of this. Locate this area and the provinces. That will make the very easy for you to understand all the circumstances, all the geographical locations and the geographical points and location. Understand empire, you will understand very well. Understand? So now here, the one thing is that Egypt and the Syria, Abbasid power was soon limited to the central Iran. We see, I have already mentioned that Abbasid power also now shrank to the central Iraq and the western Iran. Iranian part, see the central Iraq and western Iran, only where their power centered. In the map, you must look at the map. Understand? Where their power centered, and that too was lost in 945, and their power completely rooted out by the attack of the Buyids, those who attacked from the Caspian Sea, from the side of the Caspian Sea. See the Caspian Sea, you must look at this. This area was under the control of the Iran and the Persia. You must see, you all, I am telling you all, you must go to the map and see the Caspian Sea. So from the Caspian Sea side, it is the north of the Iraq. See there. I suppose that you all are looking that. Here, Buyids. Now, that too was lost in the 945, when the Buyids, a Shiite clan from the Caspian region of the Iran, Dalam is written on the map. See, Dalam. And then after Caspian Sea, you can see the demarcations there. Understand? So from there, Buyids attack on the Iraq, come down to towards the Iraq. Okay, you can see that from there, this Shiite clan attack on the Iraq. Understand? And then capture the Baghdad. Baghdad, you can see Iraq, where the bold letter Iraq has been written. In the little that Baghdad has been written, pointed there, city. So where these Buyids captured. Can you see? They captured this. And then after Baghdad, the Buyids ruler assumed various titles. Now here the Buyut's rulers were influenced by the Iranian culture because this area of Caspian Sea, okay, south of the Caspian Sea, this area were under the control of the Iranians or the Persian. Understand? So now these Buyuts were hugely influenced or immensely influenced by the hugely influenced by the Persian culture. Understand? So now they after the capturing the Baghdad, Buyuts now entitled themselves or now assume the various titles, including the ancient Iranian title Sahansa. These Buyuts entitled themselves as a Sahansa, king of the kings, but not that of Caliph. But they never assumed the title of the caliphs. No, never. They regarded the caliphs always. Understand? Never destroyed the institution of the caliph. Never. Understand? Only they were satisfied with assuming the title of the Sahansar, kings of the kings, and not caliph. They kept the Abbasid caliphs as a symbolic head, and then after Abbasid caliph only remained as a symbolic head for the entire Islamic world, entire right from the 945 onwards. The caliphs only remain as the symbolic head, as a symbolic. Understand? So now we can see that this Sahansa and the now head of their Sunni subjects, and they remain symbolic head. Understand? And as the head of their Sunni subjects, Sunni subjects, you can say Sunni people. Where is the decision not to abolish the Khalifa on the Isrid? Now, why the Buyuts did not abolish the institution of the Khalifa? Now, this was a diplomatic and the political. This was their far-sighted political decision. Understand? Now, why? Because Isrid one, because another Shiite dynasty, the Fatimid had ambitions to rule the Islamic world. On the other hand, Fatimid, understand, they were now, Fatimid's group was now preparing for the capturing the influence over the entire Islamic world. So that's why these Buyuts did not abolish the existence of the caliphs in the at Baghdad. They did not abolish finally. Understand? They wanted to create, make the power balance between the Fatimids and the caliphs, Fatimids and the Abbasid. They wanted to stand a power block, a power block, a balance of the power. But they wanted to create or maintain the balance of the power, because the Fatimids were now making their hard efforts to capture the symbolic headship, symbolic influence on the Islamic world. Understand? So now here, so that's why between them, the Buyuts now wanted to create a power balance, and the two poles between them. Understand? Now here, the Fatimids ambitious to rule the Islamic world. The Fatimids belong to the Ismail subsect of the Shiaism. They were also Shiaism or Ismailic sect. They belong to that. Belong to Shiite and claim to be the descendant from the Prophet's daughter. And they were claiming for they belong to the Prophet's daughter. So they had their right. They had the right to be the head of the Islamic world. Daughter Fatima. Now the Prophet Muhammad had a daughter named the Fatima. Understand? The Fatima group. Understand? Now the descendants of the Fatima. Understand? Now they wanted to form their own influence, because they shown their association, their blood association with the prophets. So these Fatimids were making their efforts and hence sole rightful rulers of the Islam, and that is on that basis because they belong to the Fatima, the Prophet's daughter. They now claim the rightful ruler of the Islams. They were staking their claim or claiming for the becoming the rightful ruler of the Islam. And did one state rightful ruler of the Islam? And moreover, rightful ruler of the Islam from their base in the North Africa. And we know that these Fatimids were centered in the Northern Africa. Understand? You can say in the Mediterranean Sea, south of the Mediterranean Sea. Let's see in the map, Northern Africa. Fustat were their capital. Understand? See. And now where Fatima and the hence the rightful in North Africa, they conquered the Egypt in 969. They now make the victory over Egypt, established the Fatimid Khalifa, and where they established their own Khalifa, Fatimid Caliphates, the old capital of Egypt, and this was the old capital of Egypt, Fustat, old capital of Egypt. See in the map, there is a mention of Fustat. You can see Fustat, and was replaced by a new city, Kahira, and then it was replaced by a new city, Kahira, called the Kahira. Understand? New city. The two rival dynasties patronized the Shiite administrators, and now these two rival dynasty they just patronized the Shiite administrators, poet and scholars also. Okay, so we can see that how the faction was after the Abbasid, fall of the Abbasid, how the local rulers at the local level, they were the fighting and they were trying to establish their own influence over the Islamic world. Next step was that between the 950 to the 1200, here between the 950 to the 1200, we can see that Islamic society was held together not by a single political order or the single language and the culture. Now we can see that despite these factions and the differences, I have to say in the one line or two lines, of that, despite these differences, understand, this Islamic world or the entire vast Islamic power or the areas were adjoined and underwent a hidden current, a hidden current, we can say, or the a hidden ideology, we can say, a hidden intellectual influence, understand, which had been adjoining these all the empires despite the differences, despite having their autonomy, different state. But one thing, invisible thing, was the intellectual ideas were spreading similarly in the all the regions of the Islamic world, in the all the parts of the Islamic world. I have to say this. Now the literature, scholars, language remained adjoining despite the political faction. I have to say the literature, the language or intellectual ideology now remained kept up or kept up adjoining these all the regions. Understand? So now we shall see how these intellectuals played the role. Here is the now Islamic society was held together not by a single political order. No any political single order and single rules which are being ruled or being influenced everywhere. No, being adjoined everywhere. No. Now how a single language or a single language of the culture Arabic. No Arabic culture. No the other administrative structure did not just integrated these all parts, breaking all parts. But by the common economic, one thing, remember, a common economic and cultural patterns kept them, culture, a similar cultural pattern and economic, a common economic interest, a common economic pattern or the common cultural pattern kept adjoining these all the Islamic world together. Apart from dividing the political structure. Understand? No political structure, no Arabic culture, a common Islam culture and a common culture or a common economic pattern kept adjoining these all the worlds. These all Islamic world. Did you understand what I am telling? You must try to understand what I am telling you. Understand and keep your eyes on the book. That will be the make you the very easy and the and worth understanding. Next thing is that unity in the face of political divisions was maintained. Now we can see that unity in the face of political divisions was maintained by separation between state and society, separation between state and society, and the development of Persian as a language of Islamic high culture. Persian became the very influence, and this also was began to play as a language of the Islamic high culture. Persia, under these circumstances, Persia language was making its roads, and the maturity of the dialogue between intellectual tradition and the maturity during this period, the intellectual dialogue matured, became the very mature. Intellectuals, understand? They dialogue they kept their dialogue on, and the intermix. Understand? All these traditions now kept these Islamic world together, and maturity of the dialects now. Scholars, artists, scholars, artists, artists, merchants moved freely within the central Islamic land. Now merchants, Islamic intellectuals, merchants, scholars, artists, these all frequently moved from one regions to, we know that these regions were faction politically separated, but even then the language had no boundary. Understand? The intellectuals have no boundary, scholars have no boundary, artists have no boundary, merchants had also no boundary. They now moved frequently in the empire central Islamic land and assured the circulation of ideas of the manners, and they ensured the ideas circulation of ideas and the Islamic manners or the culture or manners. This continued to be the interlinked together, continued to be the together, and now the circulation by the flow of this circulation in the different veins of the empire, the the ideas circulated by the intellectuals, by the artist, or by the merchants. These ideas now remained, continue to be the exchange together, continue to be the, understand. So now we are students, or here freely manners. Some of these also percolated down to the level of village due to the conversion. Now here some of these also percolated down to the level of villages due to the conversion. Down to the villages, now the conversion continued. The village people now they started embracing the Islam. So this spread of Islam continued. I have to tell that still the spread of Islam continued. The Muslims period increased the enormously. Here the Muslims population less than 10%. Muslim population was less than 10% in the Umayyad time. During the Umayyads, only the 10% Muslim, and early Abbasid period increased enormously because the process of the spread of Islam by the conversion at the local level or the villages continued. So their populations continued still, or the identity of Islam as a religion, or Islam now established or installed its identity as a identity of Islam, a religion and a cultural system separate from other religion, became much sharper. A cultural Islamic culture spread. So this new Islamic culture very sharply understand separated the other cultures and make a very obvious identity or the religion of the Islam. Islam makes its a clear cut figure or the identity in the society or in this area, and because of that, and a cultural system and much sharper, which made conversion possible or the meaningful, and this became the Islam became much sharper and conversion. This made the conversion more possible, and as well as this became the meaningful. Understand? So in this way, we can see that how the despite that breakdown of politically the caliphs breakdown, understand, or the Islamic world breakdown, but even then, the language, their culture, intellectuals, the merchants, the ideas of Islam. Now the process of the growth of Islam continued. Understand? Or Islam made a very a very obvious and a very evident identity in the Islamic world, or in these new worlds where the Islam had established its authorities. Understand? Now here we can see that students further here the third ethnic group was added in the Arabs or Iranian. Now in the between the conflict between the Arabs and Iranian, understand, a, a third elements now enter in this with the rise of the Turkish sultanates, rise of the Turks. Turk now enter in this. I suppose that time is about to understand. So in the next, the appearance of the Turks in the Arab between the Arab and Iranian, a new elements the Turks entered. That will be the taught later on. Okay, thank you very much.